Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about miking a guitar amp. First, I'll show you how different mics affect the sound of a guitar, and then later I'll show you how placing the mic in different positions on the speaker affects the sound. Today I'll be playing through a Epiphone Les Paul Standard into a Dyna compressor pedal into a Mad Driver overdrive pedal into a Fender Blues Junior amplifier. Since I'm in an apartment and it's very late, the amp is going to be played very quiet, which will affect the sound and won't be the best, but you gotta work with what you got. The first microphone I'll be using is a dynamic microphone that will be an SM57. The second one will be a small diaphragm pencil condenser called a SP30. I will also be using a large diaphragm condenser called SP50. For the most part, these are going to be the most different microphones that you'll come across. The two different types of condensers and a dynamic. The only other microphone that's commonly used on guitar is ribbon microphones, but since this is a beginner video, beginners don't really use them very often, and I don't own any, so that's why I'm using those three. They will all be placed at the center cone in the same spot so that you can get a good indication of what they all sound like in the same position. So I hope you guys were all able to tell the difference between the microphones, and if you could pick out your favorite, what did you like about certain ones, maybe even being able to combine them together to get different sounds. Although there's no one right way, for the most part, everyone uses the SM57. It's probably the most common guitar microphone, as well as many other uses. So for this next part, I will be using just the SM57, and I will be moving it around the speaker so I can show you the different types of tones you can get out of one microphone, one amp, just by the placement of the microphone. So I hope you guys could hear the difference between the cone placement, if it was farther away or just off-centered. There's a lot of different sounds you can get just by moving the mic around. Now let's listen to how it's going to sound in a mix. Is it going to be more present in different areas? How is it going to sound with the rest of the band? The only thing I did was I did use some volume enveloping to make the levels right, so when you move the mic farther away, obviously it's not going to pick it up as well. So I wanted to keep the volume consistent because sometimes people get confused with volume and quality, and they'll assume when something's louder, their ears kind of deceive them and assume that that's better. Louder is not always better. Other than that, there's no other post-processing, so this track, the guitar track, is going to sound very dry, but that's the point. So I hope you guys learned a little bit today. I hope you can see the difference between all the microphones and the mic placement and how much variety of tone you can get just out of the microphones. You know, there's a lot you can do with effects and amps and different guitars, but when it comes down to microphones, there's a lot of different tones you can get just out of them. So I hope you learned something, and keep on rocking.